The year is 2026, January 24th, 3 AM in the morning for me. Global community stats just dropped, so does 2025 year in review. Everyone is eager to share their stat, and that includes me. Look, Rhino Prime played in 91.11% of the case. That surely didn't surprise anyone who knows me. But what is definitely curious is my most used ability. Out of every single ability on Rhino and all the subsumes that Rhino can utilize, the ability that gets subsumed out all the time is my most used ability in 2025. How? Why? One will ask. I once said, helminth not only ensures practically endless longevity and complexity beyond measure, it also breeds a phenomenon never seen before. A frame simultaneously being one of the most subsumed frame of all time, while simultaneously being the most compatible with helminth. But there's a catch. The sentence is never completed. Rhino is the most compatible frame with helminth, yet also the frame who is the least reliant. Base kit is utilized because many had no choice. I use base kit because I know what makes it unique and stood out from the rest. With all the understanding one had, all the subsumes doesn't matter that much anymore because it is the same as all other builds with helminth, with its own death. You don't see a Rhino blitz through the mission like this. If you know how to utilize Rhino charge to a great degree, Rhino transforms itself from a heavy but slow frame to easily one of the fastest, if not the fastest in your general day-to-day missions, all thanks to bullet jump cancelling. People assume that I use Rhino charge like this, but instead, this is how I use it. My feet is off the ground, on top of me carrying the bullet jump momentum forwards to Rhino charge, causing the dash distance to be deceptively far, and this is how it looks like in real mission. But being fast isn't enough. Rhino Charge possesses two key factors that makes it genuinely phenomenal as a speed ability. First one being Rhino Charge having the highest fixed speed cap of all dash type non-targeted abilities at 48 meters per second. This may seem small, but it gives Rhino a huge advantage. It takes away the burden of modding around it, which allows Rhino to focus on the other part of his kit. Second one is the fact that Rhino Charge is incredibly cheap. With the 4x multiplier active, that's 6.25 energy per cast at 100% efficiency with 1.5 times the dash range. I know some of you will definitely ask, what's this multiplier thing? Let me explain. When Rhino casts the ability, see this meter? That's the combo multiplier. Casting the ability again gives Rhino Charge a 2x combo and 4x combo if casted again, which is the maximum cap. Combo lasts for 1 second and scale with ability duration. At 2x, Rhino Charge gain 2x damage, 1.25 times dash range and 0.5 times the energy cost, which is further double at 4x with 4x damage, 1.5 times dash range and 0.25 times the energy cost. Do keep in mind that all the increases here are multiplicative to their respective category. If you can reliably maintain the max combo, this is easily one of the cheapest movement ability in this game, able to alleviate tons of stress on one's energy economy where a lot of such abilities struggle to find a balance. All you need is casting speed and a bit of range and duration, which Rhino already demands it. The only specific stat that it needs is parkour velocity, as bullet jump's momentum is carried over to Rhino Charge. Anything that buffs bullet jump buffs Rhino Charge indirectly as well. And surely I'm pairing this with Ironclad Charge, right? Right? No. See this augment? Yeah, you can short put this to the stratosphere and it won't matter. Even when Rhino charge is capped, you still don't need the augment. Iron Skin is the only survivability tool in this game that requires zero investment to even perform at peak efficiency. The moment you understood enemy damage, there is just no place for Ironclad charge to shine. There is this misconception where people may think that this 3-second period is mostly used for endurance runs, but in reality, that's false. Take this Rhino build for example. The way you survive at base steel path with Rhino is the same way as you survive at level cap. Because of enemy damage being everywhere and always a 1-to-1 ratio, and you can do a lot of things to make the one on your side drop slower. Moving around is just one of the examples. Just like all helminth related builds of Rhino, the understanding of a frame persists even without helminth, as Iron Skin, Raw and Rhino Stomp is always there. Speaking of the devil, for Rhino Stomp, you only need a stretch mod which Rhino Charge already asks for, and you will be looking at 36.25 meters. The part that demands real investment is a fixed value, and you are already modding for energy economy anyways. Both Rhino Charge, Iron Skin and Rhino Stomp is so easy to satisfy with just a few mods. Small amount of range, a decent amount of casting speed, a decent chunk of duration and parkour velocity. 2 out of these 4 can even be outsourced. Casting speed can be gained through either Madurai Focus School or Amber Archon Shards. So does parkour velocity through the fan favorite Melee Praedos and Amber Archon Shards. That's why I find it laughable when someone says Rhino demands a lot of investment to work, because that's not the case at all. There is a reason why Rhino is picked as a new player frame. And that leaves you with only Raw, the only ability on Rhino that requires actual investment. Raw only needs 3 things: range, duration, and strength. You already mod for duration and range, as both Rhino Charge and Rhino Stomp favors that, which leaves you only needing strength. See, even the most demanding ability on Rhino is just as simple as strength maxing. This leaves Rhino in an unprecedented phenomenon. Others suffer from having too little mod slot for everything. Rhino instead suffers from having too much mod slot, as after a certain point, you just don't know what to put anymore. 145% range is all Rhino needs. 155% duration is all Rhino wants, while casting speed and parkour velocity can be outsourced. Once energy economy is settled, Rhino had nothing else to invest into. Others do strength maxing because of it dictates their viability. Rhino does that because he had nothing else to invest into. To address the big Rhino in the room, what's the ideal build of his and what synergy you could go? First off, Arcane Steadfast. Weird choice, right? Arcane Steadfast is only good on frames who cast abilities like crazy, but how could that be Rhino's case? You see, what makes Arcane Steadfast good is that there's a very cheap ability you can spam. And look, Rhino Charge. Not only Rhino Charge is insanely cheap to use with 9.6875 energy per cast at 4 times combo plus 45% efficiency, you also spam this ability like crazy when you are moving around. The chances of Arcane Steadfast proccing often is really high. In missions where you don't kill at first, it makes Rhino Charge the only field movement ability in this game who can tank 45% efficiency and still able to constantly use it in missions where you don't kill enemies, where many will run into an energy problem very soon. This can also fill both Raw and Rhino Stomp, effectively saving you 465 energy with 3 Rhino Stomp casts on 45% efficiency, or 348.75 energy with 3 Raw casts. The second on the list is constant energy regen methods, Xenoric Wellspring, Energy Nexus, and so on. While it is not as impactful as Arcane Steadfast, but for Rhino Charge, in the brief period where you are adjusting, it helps regenerate partial of that energy cost back, effectively reducing Rhino Charge's cost even further and help fund 1 or 2 additional Rhino Charge casts when Arcane Steadfast triggers. And lastly, preparation. which helps Rhino to immediately kickstart Rhino charge without waiting. As for the rest, there's just nothing much to talk about. There's also 0.5 second Iron Skin Sim Through, which at 37.5% casting speed, it is enough for Iron Skin total cast time, including human delay, to be just under 0.5 seconds, effectively taking no damage when done well. This is my build. As you could expect, everything I previously talked about is here. Archon shard wise, I have 1 for casting speed, 3 for ability strength, and 1 for parkour velocity. You could also pair this with Praedos to push your speed even further if you wish. Pet wise, it's anything you want, but Death Cube can help with my energy economy through Mystic Bond, Energy Generator, and the ability to proc Archon stretch by having Elect on my Sentinel weapon. So that's base kit Rhino for you. Rhino can focus on being fast while barely sacrificing anything in terms of modding, which is a rare trait that only Rhino himself can achieve. That's all for today. See you all next time. Goodbye.